So, boys and girls, welcome to today's video. And today I really want to talk to you about is something that has been on my mind for quite a while. And it's something that, I really spent a lot of time just thinking about. If I could go back to my 18-year-old self, okay, the version of David that, wasn't the man, like anywhere near the man that you see right now recording this video. If I could go back to him and if I could just give him all of the advice he needs, or not even all of the advice he needs, if I could give him the most three important pieces of advice that he could use to change his life, this is exactly what I'd tell him, okay? Because 18-year-old David now compared to David who's about to turn 21, if he'd have had this information and he knew exactly what this plan was, oh, I'd be so much further ahead. So first of all, the whole goal is anyone watching this video right now, if you're 18, you're 17, you're even 20, whatever age you are, okay, this video will give you the piece of advice that I wish I had earlier on, but I know for a fact would have helped me so far in my journey, okay? Point number one. The first thing that I'd tell my 18-year-old self is that, truthfully, everything works. Now online, there's thousands of other creators, all right? Truthfully, I don't help because there's thousands of other people telling you that you should do this. You should do this to make money. This doesn't work, you should do this. Or this doesn't work and you should do this. But if I'm being 100% honest with you right now, when it comes down to being able to make money online, build a business or, do whatever it is and, hit a certain financial goal, every single thing works. Crypto works. Okay, trading works. Drop shipping works. E-commerce works. Some of them may not be as efficient as each other, and some of them are better for different types of people. But in regards to achieving the end result, which is obviously being able to, get financial freedom and make money online, every single one of them actually works, right? We can't sit here and say that they don't work because there's people that have done it. There are people that are millionaires, billionaires with it. But do you want to know what the problem is? That I would obviously, first things first, I tell my 18-year-old self and I tell everyone that yes, everything works, but you need to avoid shiny object syndrome. Okay? Because no matter what it is that you start, as long as you start it and as long as you obviously starting as the main first thing, but as long as you stick to that goal and you just don't quit until you reach that goal, I promise you, okay, I've got the most conviction that you will get there. You will achieve what it is that you want to do. But the key thing is not getting shiny object syndrome. It's so easy to just get sidetracked or see something online and you've been trying your thing right now and it hasn't really worked to the way you want. So you're like, you know what, this doesn't work. I'm gonna try this instead. Okay. It's so easy, and I speak to so many people that they're like 18, 19, and they've tried about 5, 10 side hustles. And I'm like, bro, do you know if you'd have just stuck with the first one, even when it got hard? Because it's supposed to be hard. Do you know if you'd have just stuck with the first one, even when it got hard, you'd probably be a lot further now? Okay, because the analogy I love to use is like sports, okay? Say if someone starts and they play football for 3 months, okay? They play football for 3 months and yeah, they're getting better, but it's still hard, okay? They're still struggling. And then they see basketball. Basketball looks a little bit easier. So they just scrap football and they go and do basketball for 3 months. And the exact same process happens again. They're doing basketball, but oh shit, this is hard. Yeah, I didn't know it's going to be this hard. You know what? Golf. I know I'll be so good at golf. And then they go do golf for 3 months. Can you see how they're starting something, but they're not actually working at it for long enough in order to be able to build a skill, and they are effectively just wasting their time? Okay, if someone like that was to start a skill, if someone was to start a skill and then stop, or like a sport and stop after 3 months and try something new, although yeah, there'd be some transferable skills, they wouldn't get to what they want to get to because they're constantly changing the things that they need to do. They're changing the skills, they're changing the concept. Therefore, they're not going to be able to get to where they want to get to. That's the exact same with when you try and start like a million different side hustles. Okay, the number one thing that you need to do is find one thing, okay, and just go all full, just go like all gas, no brakes, full steam ahead, and I promise you, you will hit your goal because genuinely every single thing works. Block out the noise, go all in. The second thing that I tell my 18-year-old self is don't focus on money, okay? Don't focus on all the noise. Don't focus on, again, the shiny objects. Focus on skills. I bang about this all the time. I bang on about this, and if you're familiar with my page now, you probably have enough an understanding of what I'm going to say. But truthfully, in life, the only thing that you're going to get paid for, and the only thing that's going to enable you to either make a lot of money or make no money at all, is the amount of value that you provide. If you work a job right now, if you work a 9 to 5, you only get paid because you provide value to your employer. You provide value to your boss. If you work at Tesco, you're saving them time, you're stacking the shelf so he can focus on other things. If you work at McDonald's, you're providing value to the boss because you're doing the low leverage tasks like making the meat and speaking to the customers. Okay. Those two right there, they're super low value and low leverage skills, meaning why people that normally work in like retail or stuff like that, because the skill is so basic and like I could teach my sister how to do that in like a week, they don't get paid anything. They don't get paid a lot. That's why you only get paid 1.8, 2K a month, because the skills and the value that you're providing is super surface level. But the higher that you go in regards to value is the higher that you get paid. Okay, the more things that you can do for people, the more things that you could do to say your employer, or maybe if you get to the point where you're the employer, you're providing value to other people and you're also providing value to customers, that is the highest level of leverage, right? That's the highest level of being a business owner, okay? Also being a human being when it comes down to making money. So whenever it comes down to that, it's like the higher you get is the more value that people get, okay? The reason why doctors and lawyers make more money, examples I spoke about earlier, is because simply the amount of value that they provide. Doctors save people's life. That's very valuable. That's a very valuable skill to have. You know, lawyers get people out of jail. That's an insanely valuable skill to have. So guess what? Because their skill is so valuable and because what they provide is in such need and like people can't go without it compared to the person that works at McDonald's where anyone can do their job, they get paid a lot more. Okay, meaning that in order to be able to build that value, you need to be able to build a high value skill, a skill of high leverage and a skill that allows you to provide an insane amount of value and get paid. And it goes back to the first point. It's like, there's so many. You could ask ChatGPT, like, what skills do you think are the most in need right now? In a space of like things like AI, that's about. In a space of things like, I will always be biased, sales. In a space where, marketing or whatever you want to do. Like there's so many skills right now that people will pay an insane amount of money to either learn as well or to just use or to help them use, like business owners will pay an insane amount of money. They pay me an insane amount of money to help them get more sales with their sales teams. It's one of those things where like all you need to do is find a skill, lock in on it, and I promise you that is what is going to get you the money. Okay? Buying that course from that guru who doesn't know what he's talking about, that's not going to get you the money. Okay, you can't skip phases. You can't skip stages. Like, to be honest, I think fundamentally the whole concept of buying a course is fucking flawed. Buying a program and buying a mentorship is different. Working with someone that's achieved what you want to get to and learning from them. I pay mentors all the time. I spent over 20, 30 grand on mentors. That's like, it's insane. It's like buying mentors and programs. Yes, that's different. But buying a course, buying information is nothing. What you need is the implementation. Okay, that's a tangent. Building a skill is what's going to allow you and is what's going to enable you to be able to make the money that you want. Okay, it's not the get rich quick scheme side hustle that forex guru is selling you with this rented Lamborghini, or that guy that's never done sales in his life is in a Lamborghini in Dubai. Okay, I'm not going to say any name. That's not what's going to get you rich. What is going to get you rich is by building a skill that people are in need of. Okay, I've got 100% conviction in myself that I am never going to struggle to make money again. I'm never going to be poor again. And I am going to become a multi-millionaire, billionaire, truthfully, just because of the skills that I've got and the skills that I'm going to continue to build. Okay, at this point in my life right now, I've got skills when it comes down to sales. Okay, I understand marketing now. Okay, I understand how to lead people and build a team. I understand how to manage people. I understand how to hire people. I understand how to recruit people. Okay, I understand how to motivate people and allow people to like follow a cause. Like, I understand all of these things, and truthfully, as a business owner, those are the main skills that I need. At the age of 20, if I've been able to get a really good grasp of these skills, I turn 21 next month, it's just going to continue to compound. I'm going to continue to get better. Okay, and that has all just come down to the skills that I've learned. Notice how none of that came down from me buying a course and changing my life, although that was part of it. Maybe you can buy a course to get the information, but once you get the information, you need to start building the skill. So that's point number 2. And then finally, what I'm going to end it off at, which is something that I want every single one of you guys to really internalize, is that enjoy the process. It sounds cliche and it sounds cringy, and especially if you're in this video right now, you might be in a really shit situation and you're like, fuck, I need to get out of this situation. Like, I don't want to be here. This feels like hell. I promise you, you will look back on your life and you will be like, those were the good days. Once you finally get to where you want to get to, once you finally get closer toward your goals, you will look back and think, those were the good days. I think back to myself when I was 18 and even when I was working as a corporate degree apprentice, okay? Now, obviously, I'd never go back. I'd never do that ever again because I don't need to, and it's nonsensical. I genuinely just think back to moments of what my life looked like back then, and obviously, it's nostalgia, and nostalgia is one of those things where it's like the past will always seem a lot better than it was. But I look back to my time, and obviously, I'll be so grateful that I've been able to get out of it. But there'll be a sense of like nostalgia, and there'll be a sense of happiness, and there'll be a sense of like yearning for that time. Like I'll be like, wow, those were the good days. Because once you look back in hindsight, you see all of the good things that happened. I look back then and I think, oh yeah, to be fair, although I wasn't making a lot of money, it was pretty good that, I wasn't responsible for so many other things. It'll be so good that I didn't have this much responsibility. And the reason why I'm saying this is like, truthfully, obviously you always want to strive to be better, right? But what you need to understand is that you're going to enjoy the process more than you actually get to the end goal. Me getting fired at 19 and now being 20, 21, about to, making the most money of my life. I'm in Bali right now, living my dream life and just being able to help people. That journey is what makes this feel so good. The fact that I know and I can remember the day where I got fired, I call my mum, I'm crying, and now look at me now. That is what makes this feel beautiful. And that is what genuinely makes me smile. Okay? You need to enjoy the process. Okay? You need to understand that what you're in right now is like you need to be present, you need to feel all of it. Because truthfully, one day you will get to where you want to get to, and you'll be like, fuck, I miss the journey. Okay? I miss where I was. I miss where I'm not even miss, but I remember where I was, and I'm so happy I got out of it. Okay? So that is literally where we're going to leave. Okay? Those three things are what I'd tell to my 18-year-old self. I hope you guys found some value out of this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.